Welcome back, everybody. We are on episode 8, and today we have some exciting stuff coming up for you. We have Brian Wilson joining us.
Thank y'all. I'm glad to be here.
Are you?
I was. You threw me out there.
You weren't ready for that.
Nope. So, a little fast.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been here with Martin Concrete for now 9 years.
That long?
That long.
Wow.
I felt every minute of it.
Every minute, every second. But working with a lot of people like y'all has made the seconds go by.
What do you do here, Martin?
I'm currently the controller here at Martin Concrete. I started that role 3 years ago. So what I usually like to do is, wake up in the morning and take my pocket calculator out and shine it up for the day.
Do you still have one of those calculator watches, too?
I got 2 of them, just in case the battery dies.
Not saying I haven't seen this before in our office on somebody's desk before, but do you still use the old ones with the roller paper on it?
Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I go in his office and just push the buttons because it makes me feel important.
Yeah. Feels like we're calculating something.
Yeah, it makes me feel smart.
Me and Stephen Wilson used to use the calculator like that just to see how long we get the paper.
Did y'all have contests?
Yeah. We can make it from Stephen's office all the way down to Corey's.
That's awesome.
That's so
So
funny.
speaking of that, how does it feel to be working here with your dad, Stephen?
Yeah. Now that's...
Do you know how many people actually think? So,
I thought that for like 6 months.
Our CFO is named Stephen Wilson, and controller Brian Wilson, who's a miniature version. Everybody thinks that he's the son.
We had a former worker that thought for 2 full years that I was his son.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
That was crazy.
Well, it makes sense because we do have some family members that work.
We have a
for
lot
us,
of family, yeah.
So it's easy to make that assumption.
And they're both really into numbers.
That is true.
So deep.
So deep.
It's in the genetics.
So we'll get more with you later, but what just tell us what's one thing that nobody knows about you?
That nobody knows about me.
I mean, you don't have to go there, but like
They don't go
Something
there.
you can reveal on
something
this.
you can reveal on
PG, please.
PG. TV 14.
P14.
We're going to learn about you in the Toolbox Talk
that's what I
here
thought.
in a minute. So
I'd imagine a lot of people see I'm from the country and they don't think I travel a lot, but I like to travel every year. I like to take a big trip. So I've been to so many different countries. So that's just one of the biggest things for me.
I get
Gotcha.
so jealous of listening about his trips. I just need to start
Seriously.
taking his itinerary and duplicating them on my own.
I want to know how he gets so much time off.
It's accounting.
It's accounting.
Yeah. He's also on the people team.
Yeah.
You're working while you're away, right?
Yeah.
He actually does.
We all do.
That's true.
So we'll get into it a little bit later, but we have drawn your the self-portrait up there behind us with that is a chicken.
That's not a duck.
For those of you
That's
that
not a
can't
duck.
Okay.
For those of you that can't tell the amazing artistry, that is a chicken.
Do you have dollar signs as his eyes?
Yeah.
That's Steve's signature.
I didn't know if that was yours or his with your last name.
That's why we drew the arrow pointing to Brian.
It's actually me looking at Steve.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Well, today we're going to go through our core value. Which one are we discussing today?
Today is integrity.
Integrity. That's a good one.
Yes. I will read it since I love reading these every single time.
You do such a great job at it.
I try. I do have to focus a little here. Let's see. We believe in treating our customers, team members, and business partners with the utmost honesty, transparency, and fairness. Our word is our bond, and we hold ourselves accountable to our promises.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a very important one.
This one, I feel like we've maybe said this about every single core value that we have because, I mean, it is our core values at the end of the day. But I feel like this is really some of the building blocks of what everything else sits on. It's what it, from the start with Jeff, that's how this business was created, right? When he gave his word to something, that's what was going to happen, regardless of what we had to do to make that happen.
Yeah.
And that's, that integrity has cost us stuff over the years. Cost us money financially. It's cost us some different things to stand up behind our word and stand up behind our product. So.
And I think that's one thing that sets us apart from others, and just not just concrete or construction, but just business in general, is it's not always easy, being upfront and honest when you know something's going to cost you a lot of money. A lot of companies would try to hide those things, and that's never allowed here.
That's right.
Even making the tough things come to light, even if it's going to hurt or cost money, we make sure you got to do the right thing.
Yeah, and let's be honest, we're not perfect. We know mistakes will be made, whether it's us, other companies, whoever it may be, and it's not about pointing the blame. It's about being honest about it, figuring out what the issue is, and having a solution right away as well.
Yep.
That's right. It's kind of what you're getting, that transparency that's there of we're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to own up to our mistakes. Yeah. And then stand behind, this is what we got to do to make it right. And that's really what it is. It's really as simple as that.
A wise man once told me that if you're keeping a secret, the reason for keeping a secret is because you're trying to hide something. If you're trying to hide something, it's because you did something wrong and you know it already.
And I don't think she's talking to you behind the camera that are whispering to each other right now.
I have my daughter behind the camera, so I hope you heard that too.
Remember, no secrets.
Secrets are bad. But no, if you have to keep a secret, it's usually you're doing something wrong, and you know that it's wrong. There's a reason you're trying to do that. So that's not what we support or do here.
Yeah. So what do you think? How does that work out in the accounting world or on the people team?
I mean, it works out in both places, right? It starts with Jeff. I mean, Jeff has to trust us, not just accounting, every person, from Corey down to the very bottom level, to do their job. And without that trust, right, we can't advance into the future or build a building. Or, I mean, look at cash, for example, in accounting. I have to deal with money every day, in and out. And if he doesn't trust me and know that I have the integrity to watch his money and make sure it's going to the correct places,
sure.
I mean, somebody could steal a lot of money. So it's very important.
You're also taking care of the customers as well, right? The money's going back and forth.
Yes,
and they're trusting you to take care of not only Martin Concrete, but the customers we deal with as well.
That's correct. I mean, we deal with 30, 40 jobs at a time, right? Yeah. So we're dealing with many CFOs, many other controllers, APAR, and the relationships with these people is big, right? Because one relationship where you blow up could cost you work down the line.
Right.
That's right.
Or lack of vendors.
That's what I was going to say. I think it's upstream, but it's also downstream with our vendors too.
And subcontractors.
And the subcontractors, on them being able to rely on us that we're going to do the right thing for them. Make sure that we're paying them on time, or make sure that we're doing everything above the line. So.
Yeah, I mean, being somebody that was a subcontractor before I got here, the first 10 years of my career I spent as a subcontractor for Martin Concrete. And I think that's something that always drew me to Martin Concrete was, the integrity part of it. I knew they were always willing and going to do the right thing and make sure their people and their customers and their jobs were taken care of. And as an employee, when you know that, it's pretty comforting. And, there's some security that comes with that. So. And
it's internal also, because you and I, Kristin, deal with it quite a bit too, is issues happen out in the field that the guys feel like they should hold back from us because they're worried about getting in trouble. When we're not there to get them in trouble, we're there to help them out, support them, fix what's wrong. Just what you're talking about, Steve, is if we don't know about it, if the secret is kept, we can't fix the problem.
That's right.
And that's what Danny and I tell everybody all the time, in those situations he's talking about, whether equipment is damaged or a safety incident, we can't help you if we don't know.
That's right.
We're not here to blame or place blame or anything, but we're trying to help, but we can't help you fix it if we don't know about it.
Now, we will investigate. Yeah. Let's find out what happened, because we can also prevent it for the next time as well.
Preventing it, it's learning from it. We don't want to make the same mistake twice.
Right. And that's just simply merely fact-finding. We're not there to place blame or anything like that. We just want to, figure out how it happened, what happened, and how to make sure we don't have it happen again. And that's not, to go and put anybody in trouble, but just we may have to change our processes or get a different piece of equipment or have a different tool or,
That's right.
numerous things.
That's right.
So what about in project management? How often do y'all come across this integrity core value, or some examples of, when it hasn't always been easy maybe?
So it's not always easy, and sometimes it's, a project manager is going through something and we see after something's done that there's been a mistake that's made from a quality standpoint or whatever, and no one saw that. Well, it doesn't matter if anybody saw it or not. did we give them what they bought? And we've had times where we've had to go raise our hand and say, hey, we messed this up. We missed this in this detail, and this detail's not right, and it could cause some problems later on. And maybe it's not a big deal, but we need to bring it to your attention, and here's what we think we should do to fix that problem. So there's a lot of times where you've got to have it's not necessarily a difficult conversation, but it is one that's saying, like, it's going to cause us some pain. It's going to cost us some money.
Yeah.
So, but that's what we're committed to doing. So.
Absolutely. Well, we have some open positions here at Martin Concrete that have just opened up recently. There's actually numerous ones. Danny, you want to go ahead and start telling them about your mechanic position that's open? Because we know you're going to start there.
Well, I was actually going to lead into talking about being transparent and making sure that we're catching any mistakes that may be made. We do have an open position for QA and QC team members.
Oh, yeah.
So our quality control,
That's
that
right.
we're putting people out there in the field to make sure that we are doing things correctly. We are catching any mistakes that may be made. The more eyes, the better, right? And that they can report back to us so we can come up with solutions if there is any problems.
Yeah, I think that would also go hand in hand with, we have the QA, QC open positions that would help with that, but also the on-site safety coordinators who would,
Correct.
kind of another set of eyes, another pair of hands to help and, make sure that we're doing things, and working as a team, but doing it, the Martin way.
Yes.
That's right.
And then it goes into mechanics. Obviously, things break down, and we do need to know about that. So we have to have that team to go out there and fix the equipment, have it ready, make sure that we're able to do the job that we came out there to do. So we are looking for mechanics as well.
They're like first responders.
First responders, yes. Yeah. They definitely are.
The safety team's going to remember that.
Well, they can be first responders too, as well.
They're both in their own way.
Yes.
And surprisingly, they work hand in hand a lot, believe it or not.
That's right.
And then we also have superintendents that we're looking to hire.
Yes.
There's so many more jobs that we're taking on and needing qualified superintendents to come in and help us out with those jobs also.
That is tilt, that is vertical work,
Manufacturing, healthcare, all the different markets that we touch. So, and then in addition to just the superintendents, we've got we're looking for field operations managers.
Yes, in both Central Region and Kennesaw, correct?
Yep, we're looking for somebody up in Nashville in our Central Region. Looking for somebody here in Kennesaw. So, if you're interested in that, please apply.
And eventually, I think even our Charleston area.
That's right. Charleston will be coming up soon. So, we're also still looking for people to add on to our project management group, people to add on to our pre-construction team. So, as a company, we're growing continually. It's been we're part of a 10-year plan of growth that we're doing right now. A couple of years into that, but just general, we are growing as a company. So, always open spots that we're looking for, and really, we're always looking for the right person.
Yeah.
Regardless of thing, we've said it before, core values is how we hire. That's what we're looking for. So if this is a team, and some of the stuff that we've talked through is if you've listened to our podcast and you're listening to some of these core values that we've gone through each week, and that lines up with what you want to do and the team you want a part of, apply.
Yeah.
It's, we can teach the other stuff and we can fit you in the right role.
We're also CDL drivers. That's another one that we left off, but we are actively looking for them. But, going back to what you just said there, being a culture fit is important, not just for the company, it's a must, but also, for you as an employee. If you're not happy here with the culture or things like that, that's not good for you or us.
That's right.
So it's very important that everybody, understands our core values, what we're looking for, and that lines up. And, if it does, then join the team. How do you apply, Danny?
Go online. It's always, I was going to say, actually, constantly check it. As we grow, there's other positions that may show up also, because each one affects the other position. We work as a team, as we keep talking about. I know, Brian, you've had quite a bit of growth in the last year or so, and that's because of what the company's going through right now.
Tell them the fun fact you told me or shared with me yesterday.
So about the 9 years. Yeah, so when I started, we were at $40 million. And now we're pushing closer to 300, 280. And so the fact was, like, when we started, we went them paper timesheets.
That's how I used to turn my time in. Paper.
It was crazy. Like, we would Oh man, I just can't. I'm just imagining it
And
right
you
now
have
in
to
my
do this
head.
weekly,
Yeah.
right?
Weekly.
Weekly. Yeah.
Weekly.
Every Monday you had to have it either emailed in. There was a time it had to be faxed in years and years ago.
I mean, it was literally, they would send them in. Some people would bring them in. They'd take pictures of them. We'd be printing them out. And then you had to hand type all that back into
Oh,
the
my goodness.
counting system.
And then we had to pass out each check.
I remember
On Fridays.
I think we're
Oh,
showing
I
our
remember-
age here as
I
well.
remember passing out checks.
That was awful.
That's,
But, at the same time, we did not have over 700 employees then.
Correct.
How many would you think we were at then? Maybe like 100, 150?
I mean, we got probably up to 250, 300
In that
doing-
process?
in doing that process.
Yeah.
Goodness.
We just really
That's a lot of checks
embarrassed
to hand.
ourselves. We were a little behind the times, but we caught up quick.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought that was really interesting. And your department then, I think, was just a few people.
Four
Yeah.
people total. It was just me, Joey, Wendy, and
Crystal, yeah. So a lot of growth.
And how many do you have now?
We're up to 12.
Yeah. So you just see the growth and the opportunities that open up all the time. So yes, go to martinconcrete.com. It's easy to find. I've done it myself. I check it out. The website's
Are
great.
you looking for a job?
No, I make sure it's easy for everyone. I think it's
Hey,
good.
if you want to join the project management group, just
He's looking at safety.
He's actually
People team.
He only goes to accounting. He doesn't make it that far down.
I was wondering if you're going to hire a cameraman. That's all.
That's what we got you for.
Speaking of departments and different things like that, one other one that didn't put on there. So VDC and BIM, looking for detailers, looking for drafters that have capabilities with Tekla, Revit, some of the 3D software. So we are looking to expand in that area. So if that's you, please apply.
Yep. martinconcrete.com.
martinconcrete.com.
All right, so this is the exciting part. Next, we're going to get ready, and we are going to come back to you with our Toolbox Talk with Brian and ask him some fun questions that everybody around wants to know. We'll see you.
All right, Toolbox time.
This is the fun part.
Have you ever been to a Toolbox Talk before?
No.
Well, we need to fix that.
This is not actually a Toolbox Talk on a job site. But
Okay, nice.
Do you know what a Toolbox Talk on a job site is?
I actually do not.
Okay.
Continuous improvement.
Continuous improvement. So
So it's the safety talk that we have a daily safety meeting about the daily task and what they're going to do and the controls, to keep everybody working safe and what they need to do and hazards associated with them. But then every week, once a week, we have a specific toolbox talk that's a little bit more in depth, and it talks about different subjects. We've created a workbook Finish Safe has. It's on sale now. Contact Lupe or Lan if you want it. Both languages. But there's a workbook, and so they go through Spanish and English, and they will teach out of this workbook on different safety topics for 15, 30 minutes, whatever, with their crew once a week. And then we turn that into our customer, the sign-in sheets, and showing that we do that.
Can we start doing that with accounting? Just Toolbox Talk every week.
That's what we need to do.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We
I'll
had-
sell you the book after.
he
the
wants
thing.
to do one with a project management on invoice approval.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had a meeting about that
Every
this
day.
morning.
Every day.
Every day.
I'm usually your worst guy, so I'll just say it.
So, do you? You actually are.
You are, Danny.
But
So
once
these
you approve it, it
toolbox-
goes to all the project managers to approve it.
Sometimes, yeah, it's
2 months later.
So these toolbox talk, this one's a little different. We have went around to and called different job sites around the office, different things, and asked a lot of people if they could ask you anything in the world, personally or professionally, what would they ask you? And we collected all of those questions, and now we are going to ask you these on camera, and you're not allowed to plead the fifth.
I don't know if it's appropriate to answer after these questions.
you do have to keep it PG.
I know.
So
As we learned with Kyle way back when, you got to keep it PG for 13.
If you want to know what PG isn't, go watch
PG-14.
Kyle's podcast.
does Kyle have a podcast?
we did one with him.
Oh, that podcast. I thought you meant he had his own podcast. No, yeah. Don't do that.
Not yet. He
That was
might.
the first time we had ever had to use the bleep. Bleep.
Kyle just streams.
College dreams.
All right, so who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
All right, this one is from Scott Jordan.
the pause.
The pause. Tell us a story about you wrestling an alligator.
Yeah, okay. So there's actually going to be two fun things about this story. So it's probably been 10 years ago. I got Drew for alligator hunt in South Georgia, and we left at like, I don't know, 7 p.m. at night and got there at like 12 in Savannah or something like that. And we go straight onto an airboat. And he's like, this is what you got. You got a harpoon, right? Mm-hmm. You got to throw this right into the gator right here in the side. I was like, this is going to be hard. So we're flying around this airboat, and then we turn this alley, and there's like 50 red eyes just down this thing. And he's flying through this. He goes, nope, too small, too small, too small, too small. Throw it.
He can tell it just by the eyes?
Yeah. And I'm up here at the front of this boat trying to throw this harpoon. The first one I just missed probably by 5 feet. I was like, this is hard, right? We're moving, and you're trying to get all this momentum to throw.
What if you fall in?
Yeah,
so
it happens.
Were you tethered off?
No.
Safety first?
Nope. So funny part about the story, I go, what happens if we flip this boat? He goes, get in the water and flip it back.
Duh.
Like it was a dumb question?
Yeah, I was like, I'm actually just going to get on top of the boat. Because, you look down there and it's alligator alley. So we probably go out there for about 2 or 3 hours until we find another one of good size. So he goes, here's one right here. So I throw it, hit it, and as soon as you hit the gator, it just starts hissing. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's like that. And he goes, you've got to start pulling it in. So you're sitting here pulling and pulling and pulling, and it's just hissing and splashing and all that. And then eventually you get it to the boat, and you've got to kill it. So I had to take a knife to the top of it. Yep, to do that.
Can't wait for Peter to watch this one.
But the best part of the story was it was only like a 9-foot alligator.
Only?
So, yeah. So then, this is the best part. 2 years later, my sister gets drawn to go alligator hunting, and she breaks like the state record for alligator.
Oh my goodness!
For killing alligator in Georgia. How big was it? It was like 13 feet.
Wow.
So my little one's downstairs in my parents' basement, and it's beside that one, and that monster's like just looking at it like.
So who's the favorite kid with your parents?
It's gonna be my sister.
Oh yeah.
Is she older or younger?
She's younger, 4 years.
Oh, that's usually. No offense, Logan.
And she lives beside him.
Oh, brownie point.
That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Well, Marissa actually had a good question that kind of goes with this last question that Scott had. And Marissa wants to know, do you get more of an adrenaline rush out of wrestling alligators or calculating numbers?
Calculating numbers.
Didn't even hesitate.
Mm-mm. That's what I think about every morning.
Calculating numbers.
Calculating numbers. I always try to focus on what the company's going to do and how we're going to go forward, right? So that's always, I think about that before I go to bed, think about it when I wake up. That's my focus. It's trying to figure out what we need to do to succeed.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of conversations about that, honestly, not just like on the way home or early. He, like you, works hours like me, so he's on the same schedule, so you don't ever have to worry about if he's awake or not driving in. And he's
always thinking.
He's always thinking about this stuff.
Yes.
I can attest to that.
Well, you may have answered Corey's question here. What is your secret to staying so excited? Thinking about numbers?
No.
It's like they're all kind of linking together.
Actually not thinking about numbers. It's actually team growth, right? Mm-hmm. That's, for me, like if somebody ever asks me, what's your greatest accomplishment? I won't say anything about myself. I'm going to say about my team. Mm-hmm. Watching everybody in accounting grow every day and is what I love. That's really what I care about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and you seem to love to teach and show and help, right? I notice you do that a lot, even with people outside of accounting. I know I'm always asking you questions, and, and you're the first, hey, I'll get right on it, I'll figure it out, and then you'll explain it as well.
Yeah, it's just like the integrity question y'all was talking about earlier, right? We all make mistakes, right? And I actually have my team comes to me to tell me they made a mistake. And I actually have other people on my team telling each other, hey, Brian doesn't care if you make a mistake. He just needs to know so the way we can fix it.
That's right.
And that's what I want them to be able to come to. Because
that's good culture.
If we can never fix it, we're never going to get better.
Exactly. All right. Steve?
I've got a little bit different one for you.
I can read it. It's funny.
Oh, no.
This is from Matt Peck. I think he's asking for some advice in this one. How did you get such a hot wife?
I was a lot different in high school. No, it goes back to what Corey's question is, right? I'm always happy. And, we're always trying to, me and my wife never argue. ever.
Do we need to ask her about that?
Can you give us tips on that later?
I can't tell you. We've been together for
You just don't want to argue with her.
19 years. We probably argued once, twice maybe, in 19 years.
Is that like bicker, or is that like full blown like arguments? Like you're mad?
We don't really
Y'all have
bicker.
disagreements, right?
Not really. We're literally the same person.
Do y'all live in the same house?
Yeah.
She is also an accountant.
Yeah. So
She
my
likes
wife.
numbers.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So my wife is a CFO, right? So, but we are the same person though in general, right?
That's so
we love
cool.
to do everything. We love to travel. We love to take care of our chickens. We love to do stuff outside, right?
So she's your best friend
She's my best
How
friend.
sweet.
Yep.
That is awesome.
Since high school.
since high school.
Yeah.
It's a huge accomplishment.
So we just know each other.
Yeah.
Did she play softball too?
She did play softball with me. So I played a lot of softball when I was in college, and she played on co-ed with me 1 year. That didn't go as great.
That was when the argument happened.
Yeah, that was our one argument.
one.
Yeah, I was very competitive, and we won a lot of games, and she wasn't up to our level what we played with.
So Chloe wants to know what you do when you get home from work. Is that an example of it, or what does a typical evening look like for Brian?
Well, I talked to John Martin.
God.
More work.
What did you do to deserve that?
Yeah. I signed up 9 years ago. A typical day, right? It's going to be. I change the water out for the chickens. I make sure stuff like that. Depending on what it is during the week, I might go out on the tractor and mow stuff like that. I've got a lot of land now, so I like to spend a lot of time out there. I like to drink bourbon, so there's some nights I'll just have a bourbon outside, sit there by the pool, and just enjoy that. Just a lot of just chilling. I try to better myself every day, so I try to read something in accounting or like a leadership book. I do that almost every day for at least 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably my biggest thing what I do at home.
That's a good answer.
I gotcha. You know, I tried to make a chicken salad yesterday, but I realized they like grain.
Dad joke.
I've had a chicken pass away, and I was like, I just went and threw it away. I can't eat my own chickens.
Dead chicken.
Yeah.
Dead alligator.
Yep.
Feed is coming for us.
Yep. It was Steve Dollar's fault.
Well, I have a feeling there's some kind of coup here with all these questions.
Well, everybody thinks his wife's beautiful.
They know she is,
Yeah.
and Brian's not. So
Oh, shots fired.
That's not true.
I'm not going to call Brian beautiful.
You're very beautiful,
You're a
Brian.
good-looking man, though,
Yeah.
Brian.
It's in his eyes.
He said it yesterday, too.
So how did you bribe your wife from Crystal?
Oh, from Crystal. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Crystal asked. She wasn't with Crystal. Crystal asked, how did you bribe your wife? I assume to be with you.
I'm still picturing it from Crystal. So once I got her away from Crystal, it was easy. No, it's really just, it was funny, like when she saw me in high school, right? I knew so many people, and I knew her friend, and her friend liked me, so she kept coming up to me all the time, and Casey would be with her, and she never thought about it. But when I was at a spring football practice, or was doing Hell Week, it was 2 or 3 practices. She was doing she's at gymnastic practice for the same thing they was doing a week. So they was in a sleepover, and we were doing sleepovers. So eventually I was like, you know what? Let me get her number, and I got her number. And
On paper or digitally?
this was paper. I am 37, so it was
Yeah. Paper.
back then. Yeah,
Back then.
yeah, back then. We were still using the the Nokia.
Nokia.
Yep,
Nokia.
the
With the snake.
Yep, with the snake. So for fun, we'd play with the snake during football practice. But yeah, so I got her number then, and the funny part of that story is she wrote me for like a day. So I was like, okay, this is going to work out. We'll go hang out and stuff. And then she actually didn't write me back. I was like, what the heck? It's been like 4 or 5 days. So this has went downhill fast.
What did I do?
Yeah, what did I do already?
She ghosted you?
Yeah, she already ghosted me. And what I found out is they took all their phones away, and she couldn't find hers when they gave them back.
Oh.
It was in like some kind of like foam or stuff because they were like doing some weird party or something for the gymnast. And I told every senior cheerleader I knew to find out why she was not writing me. But in the long run, it's worked out for me.
So
Oh,
she,
yeah,
she
definitely.
liked that you worked hard for her.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Worked hard.
That's right.
She liked how short I was.
Lupe 2.0 wants to know, where did you develop your love for numbers? Like, when did you go, that's what I want to do?
So I took a accounting class my senior year of high school, and I aced every test with 100. And what's funny is I still didn't think I wanted to go to accounting. So I went to college, and I was actually wanting to go to nursing.
Really?
My wife's mom was in nursing. I enjoyed the schedule. It was 3 days on, 4 days off. I was all for that schedule. And
As much as you work, could you imagine that schedule now?
You could travel more.
yeah, I could,
that's
I
right.
could
Yeah,
travel
that's
more.
true.
Travel.
But so then I went to but then I took a college class again in
Yeah.
accounting, and I got 100 on both the accounting 101s, and I was like, okay, this is just feels like it's me. So I ended up switching to it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Did they have an invoice approval class?
yeah, that is it. What they learned at the Martin,
Yeah, I didn't take that one.
and nobody here has.
I do well.
It's Chris.
I take offense to that.
All right. I've got one from Jake Richardson. What is your dream purchase that isn't land?
That isn't land. My dream purchase, we're talking about something I never have probably. I'd probably get a red Ferrari.
A red Ferrari.
Yep.
Old, new,
Brand new.
brand new.
I want to walk in there with like gym shorts on, t-shirt, and a backwards hat, and just a duffel bag of money and buy it.
It's looking forward to his
Yeah.
midlife crisis.
Yep.
Well, he's already got a Mustang.
I've had that since 06.
You have. Since 06.
Mhm.
Wow.
Midlife
was-
started early.
That was my
Yeah.
graduation high school present
Oh,
to my
really?
dad.
Wow.
So I'm going to try to keep it.
Would you
Oh,
trade it
cool.
in for the Ferrari?
Mm-mm.
No?
Nope.
Interesting.
That is
So
interesting.
you need a garage now.
I
Like
have,
a bigger garage.
well, I have
He-
I have like a 40 by 60 building, another 30
So
by
you got to
50
fill it
building.
up.
You
I
got
see.
it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're,
Right, just
you're ahead of the
now
game.
Now, who's
more
Mustang's
tractors.
faster is what I want to know.
His.
His is
Danny's-
faster
yeah.
than yours?
Danny didn't
Or
even
he
look
just-
up. He just knew. You were that confident. I don't even have to answer.
Is it the driver or is it the car?
It's the car. But if I slash his tires,
So next podcast, we're out on the street.
yeah, on
Yeah.
the street.
I
We're
want to
going to
see
be
this.
racing.
Gabby wants to know what goes through your head.
What goes to my head?
Buying a Ferrari.
Buying a Ferrari.
On a daily basis. you
Depends
know,
which
what's-
day it is.
Be careful what you ask for,
Yeah.
Gabby.
Yeah, Gabby. Right now, it's not good.
PG.
I mean, realistically, what goes to my head is trying to, every day, because I spend most of my time here at work, is trying to figure out how to better myself, better my team, and then better the company. That's really what goes to my head.
Which kind of goes back to why you won the Gilly Award a couple years back.
Yeah.
In order to win the Gilly Award, that's kind of our most prestigious award that we give away at our leadership conference every year. And in order to win that, you have to meet the integrity core value, but you also have to be all-encompassing of all of them. So, and it's not one that's voted on by the employees. That's actually handpicked and voted on by next-level leaders and SLT. So, and I think we've only had maybe 3 or 4, and you were our last one. And
What's funny about that is we're sitting there, and I was like, I'm not going to win this, right? I forgot who was all on the ballot. I think Jeremy might have been on there. It was like 5 of us. And I was sitting there, I was like, okay, I'm not going to win this. I was like,
Alfonso, I think.
Alfonso. And I just sat there and I sort of looked at the screen, like we had 2 screens up. And then all of a sudden, it popped my picture up. And I don't know if I was in like shock, right? Them seeing myself on there, but somebody had to tell me you just won. And then I remember walking up, and it was weird. And I could remember like a couple people hugging me, and I got a couple high fives and stuff like that on the way, and I was still like in shock, right?
Yeah.
But it was really cool because how much I care about this company, for them to see that I do care about it, also
That's right.
makes me feel great,
Yeah.
right? And I had that high basically for the rest of the night. Right, so like my wife was proud. Like we took a picture, sent it to the family. It's really cool honor, and I have that like in the living room right now. The award.
Do you?
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Well, he had to replace a gator with something.
Yeah, not ducks.
No, but definitely deserving of that.
Yes,
and it's
for sure.
definitely something. Like I was mentioning earlier, I can tell you're always thinking, you're always processing through, and how do we get better. You're always looking from a visionary standpoint too of what's ahead and where we're going. And so those are incredible values to be able to have as both a leader and just a coworker here. So.
Yeah, and your excitement is so contagious. Like, I love it. And if I'm having a bad day, I just have to go around Brian, and then I'm excited all over again. Speaking of excitement, that kind of goes with one of your questions, right?
No.
Yeah, and this is unknown.
What? Is that even allowed?
I'm in trouble.
Apparently it is, because that's what I think I can read.
Oh, wow, it does say that.
How many times? Don't shoot me. How many times a day? I
3.
think it's more. How many times a day do you do your hand motion?
Do you
even know what that is?
I do know my hand motion.
Okay.
I don't.
Can
know
you show everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's more like.
That's contagious too. By the way,
I don't know how many times I do that. I can't even remember when I started.
I was going to ask that.
But everybody I know knows I do this.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's so fun. Like,
I think it's part of the excitement.
it is. It's just natural now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it is part of the excitement. Like ever since I've been a kid, like I get excited.
Yeah.
Always. Like my dad told me one time, this is Blockbuster. I don't know if the people behind the camera know what this is. Is I was like 4 or 5, and was when you would go rent a movie or a video game from Blockbuster to go watch. And I think I rented Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the video cassette was tore up. The VHS for behind the camera. And my dad said, we got back to Blockbuster. He said, I jumped out of the truck. I forgot what he told me I was doing, and he goes, well, we better go shoo them out right now. That's what I told him, because I want to watch this movie. So it was just like, I already got that same video stolen like years ago. Like somebody broke into our house and stole that same tape.
That's what they
same
stole.
tape. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I can see you walking through Blockbuster looking at the movies and going, that one?
Yeah.
A 5-year-old Brian?
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah, I can. Getting excited.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I always get excited, right? It's like I can never stop. I can't stop thinking, or I can't stop doing something.
Yeah. No,
good.
I love it. I think it's awesome. Well, that's all of our questions.
Yeah.
So, yes, thank you for coming. Those were some great answers you had there.
Yeah, you did good. You didn't. That was close to getting 100 on your accounting test.
Yeah, I got a 99.5.
Yep. And you didn't even have to try to plead the fifth, so
That's good.
We don't give 100s.
Yeah.
there's
Sorry.
always room for improvement.
That's right.
You got a 99.5, so there's still 3% room for improvement.
That means I can go read tonight. Something on accounting.
There you go. All right.
Or
we'll
Toolbox Talks.
I'm gonna go read on Toolbox Talks. Yeah.
Well, we will be right back, and we will close out episode 8. All right, well, that we are back and going to close out this. And Danny has just told us that he is going to sing us a song to close out the program. So something
pressure.
exciting and different.
Building it in concrete song?
No, I was thinking about something a little bit older.
No.
So long, farewell.
Not happened. No, you did a good job. There we
Oh,
go.
No, we need a little more inflection.
Yeah.
Danny's.
I'm tone deaf, so.
Yeah, you don't want to hear me sing.
That'll be the next podcast.
Oh, me singing?
Well,
That'll be how we end the last podcast we ever do.
Canceled.
Canceled.
Well, thank you, Brian. You did
Yeah.
an amazing job. Thank you for joining us. Thank you all for joining us. Again, follow us and like and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. Let us know who you want to hear next, who you'd like to see on the next Toolbox Talk, and follow us.
Yep.
So, but we appreciate all of our listeners and you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.